Here comes another of Mrs. C's maths lessons. Here I am back with the answers. So we have your 3 cups costing £1.80. So 1 cup's 3 into £1.80 makes 60p. So 2 cups is going to be double 60p, which is £1.20. Then you're going to have to times it by 40, that's 60p, to get £24 for the cost of 40 cups. If you take the whole class in and some of the mums as well. Lots of money on cups of tea. Okay, number 2, 5 bricks. Your answer for A is 2.4 kilograms. Your answer to B is 12.8 kilograms. Number 3, Sean with his squash. If he makes 6 glasses, he's going to need 240 millilitres. For B, for 38 glasses, the whole class and a few friends, 1.52 litres of squash. Last one, a plane. Okay, you need to work out how far it travels in 1 minute and then times that by 8 to get 160 kilograms. Kilograms? To get 160 kilometres. And then for B, to travel 45 minutes, is going to travel 900 kilometres. So that is a long way. Wow, nearly 1,000 miles. Right, okay, so today we are going to continue our look at ratio. I just felt we needed an extra day because I wanted to link in. I was talking to you about proportion and I wanted to link in ratio and proportion together, okay, just to really drive home your understanding of that. So, ratio compares part to part, okay? So, here we are with every 2 beads compared to every 3 beads, if we just ignore that bit. So, the ratio is for every 2 red beads, there are 3 green beads. It compares part to part. Proportion, which we looked at yesterday, is like a proportion, a portion or a share of a whole, okay? Proportion is like a share. It compares part to whole, which when we started this journey, we said is what a fraction does. It compares like a quarter is 1 out of the 4, which is the whole, and that is a proportion. It's a share of the whole. So let's go through this with this pattern of beads, okay? So how many beads have we got altogether? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 10 beads. 4 of them are red. So red to green. 4 are red and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, of course, are green. So the ratio of red to green is 4 to 6. That, of course, can be simplified because you can divide 4 to make that a little bit easier to kind of understand. You can divide both of those by 2 and you get for every 2 red beads, there are 3 green beads, okay? So it's like simplifying a fraction. You just do the same to that side as you do to that, divide it by 2. So for every 2 red, there are 3 green. 2 red, 3 green, okay? What's the proportion in comparison to the ratio though? You're comparing the whole to the part, okay? That is comparing bit to bit. And the proportion, let's have a look at the whole. The whole is 10. So out of the 10 beads, how many are red? 4. But again, like this, you can simplify that. So whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So we can halve that, and we can halve that. So 2/5 of the beads, of the whole amount of beads, are red. 4 out of the whole amount, 4 out of the 10, or 2 out of the 5. So let's look at the opposite, the proportion of green beads, okay? So out of the whole 10, out of all 10, 6, of course, are green. So the proportion compares the part to the whole. Let's simplify that. That would be 3/5. 3 out of every 5 are green, comparing part to whole. Yeah? Ratio part 2 to 3, proportion, part to whole. Easy as pie. Right, ratio problem. For every 2 large packs of cereal put out in a supermarket, 5 small packs are put out, okay? So let's look at the ratio of that first, because this is a ratio problem. For every 2 large packs, 5 small packs are put out. So for every 2 large, we've got 5 small. We're looking at the ratio which compares that part to that part. Let's read the rest of the problem now. If 40 small packs are put out, how many large packs are put out? Okay, so 2 is the large and 5 is the small. Okay, so we're going to extend this to 40. So small packs. These are the large packs and these are the small packs. So we've turned the 5 into 40. Okay, what have we done with that 5 to turn it into 40? How many lots of 5 are in that 40? 5's into 40, go 8 times. We've times it by 8. Okay, so there are 40 small packs. So we've grown that by 8. So if we're going to be find out how many large packs there are, we've got to grow that by 8 as well. It's scale. You're doing the same to both sides. So you times this 2 by 8. 2 8s are 16. So for every 2 large packs of cereal put out, 5 small packs are put out. So therefore, for every 40 small packs, do the same to the other side, there's going to be 16 large packs. Ratio problem solved. Let's look at a proportion problem now, just to see how they are the same and how they are different. Then I will set you some work for the next day. Right, okay, so here we're back with a proportion problem. Slightly different. Proportion, remember, is like a share. It's like a fraction. You're comparing a part to a whole. So let's see what the problem asks. In a swimming gala, 3 in every 8 swimmers get a medal. But the question's asking us how many medals, how many meals that says, that's interesting. I'll just correct my spelling mistake. How many medals are awarded if there are 72 swimmers all together? So that is the whole pie of swimmers, and that is what proportion's about. It compares a part, the people getting the medals, to the whole amount of swimmers in the gala, like a fraction, okay? So how many medals are awarded if there are 72 swimmers altogether? So let's look at what we know. 3 out of in every 8 are getting a medal. So 3 out of 8, okay? So we need to compare that 3 out of 8 to the 72 that are all together, okay? So what have we done with that pie of 8 to make it 72? We need to have a look at that compared to that, and then we can do the same to the top, yeah? Same with fractions as it is with ratios. Whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. Whatever you do to one side of the ratio, you do to the other. So, how many lots of 8 are in that 72? And then we can make the top the same. So we're comparing, or we're looking at how many swimmers all together get medals. So we're comparing the part to the whole, not the part to the part. How many 8s are in 72? 8 into 72, of course, you've times that by 9. So there are 9 lots of 8 in that. So if we do the same to the top, we will be able to find out how many medals have been given out in the gala altogether. So 3 times 9, 3 9s are 27. So out of everyone in the gala, 27 children receive medals. Okay, comparing part to whole. Right, I'm going to set you a few problems. Some of them are going to be ratio, where you compare part to part, and some of them are going to be proportion, where you're comparing part to whole. And then I think once you've had a go at doing that, you really will have a deeper understanding of ratio and proportion. I'll be back with you in a minute. Right, here we are back with today's questions. Quite a few to get your teeth into, and they include ratio and proportion questions. So make sure you read what you are being asked to do to see if you're comparing part with part or part with whole. Look at what you've got to find out and work through it, okay? I think you'll be fine. I think we're going to absolutely nail this after today. So remember to like, turn on post notifications and subscribe.